A very good evening to all of you. Once again, welcome
Jump on top of that show.
session of understanding the Scrum rules. Am I audible, guys? You can unmute yourself and say yes.
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 Okay, super.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for waiting.
Go plant some blocks to
Yes,
build.
please try to be on time so we can, get started as per our scheduled timings. So yes,
Hero.
as you all know, yeah, yeah. Can I request everyone to go on mute, please? Somebody is not. Okay, everybody's on mute. Great. Yeah. So why I kept this slide here for you to understand is because these three are the super important roles who are the pillars of agile methodology and understanding. So we will start with the one and only product owner. Now, if you could see, he has a very interesting picture or kind of, I would say image of showing one person, it can be a male or female, one person standing there and there is always only one product owner for one particular project or, So can I just request Babu to read out what is mentioned in product owner column?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
Product owner conveys the vision of the stakeholders to the team,
Right.
can alter the scope,
Mhm.
responsible for the return on investment. That is why they occupy an authoritative position in the firm,
Right.
not only with the team, but also communicates with the stakeholders about progress and problems.
Absolutely right. Okay. So now from this only we understand that this role or this person's job is quite a responsible one. Okay. Why am I saying this? If you see, he has the authority and capacity to alter scope. I'm just jumping on the second point first, just to let you know how important this role is. He can alter the scope. Alter the scope means whatever requirement we are working on, he has the capacity and authority to change that, which is very big, as a development team member or as a Scrum Master, you can't do that. But yeah, as a product owner, you have the authority that if you feel something is not going to complete within timelines or something is out of the scope, which is asked by the customer, he can have a discussion with them and ensure that we are not working on that. Okay, so that is what it means, altering the scope. He can change the scope definitely after some discussions, but he has the authority. Okay, none other than him. Nobody can do this. Only product owner can have discussions, convey to the customer, informs development team, and change the scope. Okay, this is a very important point. Mention it as a keyword. It can be asked in an interview that what are the main responsibilities or rights or things that product owner carries out. That's one of them. First is conveys the vision of the software, conveys the vision of the stakeholders to the team. Okay, this is quite interesting. I think in earlier sessions also I tried to explain you what is a stakeholder. So stakeholder simply means anybody and everybody who has a stake, who has an interest in your project or in your activities. So this means your senior management team, your customers, your vendors, or anybody and everybody who is involved in the project. So what is the vision of the project? That means the ultimate delivery of the product, achieving particular goal. Like for example, a company is looking at some trademark profit, so achieving that profit, or having maybe 1,000. So this might be the goal of the senior management or company. So all these things, achieving those goals is the achieving the or conveying of this vision. Say this is the vision of the company. Like they want to have 1,000 customers to be added in the next financial year. Just a hypothetical one, okay, for your understanding. So all these things are conveyed by the product owner. But they tell everybody that okay, we are working towards this. We want to grow in such manner. So all this thing, because he has the authority, and very important, he has the I would say view. He knows what the customer wants. He knows what the development team is working on. He knows how is the company doing and all that, right? So that is why we say that he conveys vision to the stakeholders of the team. Now, third and very important, responsible for the ROI, that is why they occupy an authoritative position in the firm. That means return on investment means whatever you are working on for a particular activity or particular investment, what is the return on that? What is the profit on that? So in our context, it simply means if our team is working in development of some particular application or project, so the return on investment, that means the profit that we are getting has to be what was planned, or it has to be a decent one. That simply means our project that we are working on should not fall in losses, and along with the customer, the company should also benefit. The customer benefit in the form of service, whereas the company benefits in the form of profits or additional revenue, whichever you call it, right? And last but not the least, he is not only connected with the team, but also with all stakeholders. Like he is the person who would give presentations to senior management. He is the person, who is directly talking to the vendors. You remember what I told about vendors? Vendors means any other companies who are working along with you. Like for example, if you are working in a project in Accenture, there you have some people from Infosys, from TCS, maybe from Google, from other Central, from other big companies working there. So for Accenture, these other companies are vendors. Vendors means any people from other companies working in your project or in your organization for some particular for some particular skill, for some particular software they have. So that means it's vendor. So this person has a very, very important role because he is at the top, first of all, in the hierarchy of authority, and he has the visibility of entire project. Along with that, he has some more roles and responsibilities that we will learn in the further sessions. Okay. Anybody has any doubts in this? Please unmute yourself and ask. You're most welcome.
Prerna,
Yeah.
can you explain me one second one that can alter the scope means they can
Okay.
change the whole projects or the requirement what
Okay.
they can alter?
Okay. For example, you remember we have been discussing on that example of Facebook.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Why I gave this?
Okay.
Because it's easy to visualize for everyone. Okay. So assuming the days when it was a very plain website, and now like how you have a video call on WhatsApp for till 8 people, right? You can make a group call till
Yes,
8.
yes.
Earlier
Yeah.
it was 1, then they increased to 4 and stuff like that.
Yes.
So assuming a person is asking for the same functionality in our notebook application.
Okay.
So if we cannot, for whatever reason, maybe the bandwidth issue, like there are no resources, or if there is some time crunch, that's why we cannot develop on that. So what he can do, he can go to the customer and say, see, in this current sprint or whatever, in maybe for this particular time, say for next 2 months, for next 2 sprints, we will not be able to work on that because we do not have whatever, or simply that was not earlier mentioned in the requirement, and the customer is asking this in upfront. That the reasons can be anything, but my important point of mentioning this point here is that he is the person who has the authority to change things. So, for
Okay.
example, we're not able to incorporate that group chat in our application. He will straightforward have a meeting with the customers along with maybe Scrum Master team if required, and try to make them understand this scenario and say that this will not be worked upon in this. Don't you think it's a very good, it's a very big thing to talk to customer about?
Yes.
Exactly. So as a development team member, you and me cannot just go and say no. Definitely not. What I've always mentioned about development team, whatever the customer asks, if we feel it will require more time or more bandwidth, we will always have to tell them we will get back to you after checking with my seniors or on my team. Okay. But in case of product owner, definitely if there are some important things, he'll have an internal discussion with the team, with some master, with senior management. But then he has the right. Okay, he is the person who can say yes and no to the customer, to the stakeholders. Does this clear your doubt?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Anybody else, or we can move to the Scrum Master part? Okay, I think we are good. So yeah, Shobha, can you read out the Scrum Master part?
Yeah. Scrum Master removes all impediment and hindrance to achieve goals, enforce to organize Scrum ceremonies and processes, to commit to
Mhm.
goal and deadlines on behalf of the team.
Okay, now tell me it's easy to understand or not. Or I want all of you to tell me one liner from what you understand from this. Yes.
Yeah.
Starting with only
So
one
far.
line. Okay, we need to give others also a chance to tell about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So tell Shoaib, what do you understand by these? Anything? See, these are
So yeah,
brief.
the first point is that removes all impediment and hindrance to achieve the goals, because the Scrum Master role is that to remove the any backlogs or any to get to achieve the goals. Like if there is any hindrance, if there is any what I will say,
Mhm.
um,
Obstacles.
obstacles.
Roadblocks,
Yeah,
issues,
I'm not getting that word.
problems.
Yeah, obstacles. Yes, if
Mhm.
if they get any obstacles or any problem, they will they will remove, as a Scrum Master they will remove all of that,
Perfect.
so to
Yeah,
achieve the
this is
goals.
what it says. Right, right. Okay. How about
So, so
okay,
we
one
can,
minute.
yeah, we can also say, because removes all impediments is basically Scrum Master is an interface or a point of contact between the client and the product owner and the team, and all the he's like an interface between them, right? So
Mm-hmm.
anything which the client wants um, is all discussed through Scrum Master within the team and then conveyed to the client and with the product owner and finally conveyed to the client. And
Mm-hmm.
whether it's feasible or not, and then if those can be implemented or not.
Okay, that's also there, but
But you said that the
you
product owner
have
can
detailed.
directly discuss with the clients, right? Not the Scrum Master, right?
Yes. See, the point which you try to make, Vandana, that is like it is more of a process. It's not a one-time affair, to be honest. So it's not that he discusses with the with the customers and tells the team. It doesn't happen that way. Generally, the product owner has the capacity to do that in case there is some change or alteration. But what you try to say in that scenario, that can be.
Because
No,
I mean,
wait a second. Let
yeah,
me connect
Scrum
your
Master
answer.
is basically a lead of the project, right?
More or less, yes. He's also called as a servant leader. Yeah, that will come to next. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I was thinking, I mean, product owner, I feel basically comes more when the requirements are to be assessed. Requirements, in the sense that requirements are
Mm-hmm.
the customer's requirements are, uh, you know what's kind of, I mean, simple requirements. Scrum Master has to go through product owner, but he can deal with the with the stakeholders, with this customer, with these simple requirements. But if the requirements are to be assessed in from multiple perspectives, then
Okay.
I feel then the product owner, because for small requirements or changes that the customer comes in during the sprint, I don't feel the product owner has a major role. That I think Scrum Master takes over the major role in that case, right? So he basically, while the
Mhm.
sprint is being being worked on, Scrum Master makes sure that the sprint actually goes is implemented smoothly, right? He takes that role
Yeah.
basically.
Now the last line, what you said, that makes a lot of sense, which is
Mhm.
accurate. See, about requirements, I'll be very honest with you. It's not a thing that it happens. The discussion happens on a daily basis. We do get some requirements at the beginning of the sprint. We also have a backlog. So what you mentioned right now, it's a lot of ad hoc or in situations where we want to take a call. Otherwise, for daily operations, we do already have requirements. So though I buy your point that he is the leader, he is involved with the team, but that doesn't mean that for any small requirements, he's the one who takes the decision. Let me have a clear understanding on this. Let me share a clear understanding on this, that requirements, whatever the given by customers, are generally or are always confirmed with the after the meeting of everybody. So everybody means Scrum team also plays an essential role. Now, why that is so? Because understand, if tomorrow we six, like five of you and myself, we six are as a team. Okay, assuming Babuji is our Scrum Master, and Vandana is a product owner, because you're discussing the topic. Okay, and we three are developers. So while developers means we are in development team. Maybe I am a tester, Akhil is a developer, and Nabila is a subject matter expert. Just assuming to have all roles. If tomorrow we want to work on something and deliver something, you guys as product owner and Scrum Master will have to come and discuss with us, right? Because you are not the only person who will be working on that. Scrum Master is technically and daily basis involved, but that doesn't mean he works on all the requirements or he knows everything. We have subject matter experts. That is why we have testers, we have business analysts. So all these things, all these people, the entire team in a meeting, before sprint planning, sit together, understand, and then confirm on the requirement. Okay, that is what we have to work on. That is how they plan. Again, in the course of action, duration of the sprint, if there is any up and down, or if any change, any variation, and then you rightly mentioned, if it is small, if it is doable, if it won't cost time, money, resources, then we can work on that after consulting with your Scrum Master and product owner. And but it is, if it is very big, it has a lot of impact on time. It will extend your timeline by one sprint. It will have some, it is requiring some additional skill set which you do not have, which you might have to get for all that product owner. And also in some cases, the product owner also has to check with the stakeholders or the senior management and then get back. Okay, so that was with respect to your point. Okay, thank you so much, Vandana, for this detailed discussion, so we could understand and discuss all this. Moving to Nabila, what she feels for Scrum Master.
Okay, so where it says to commit to goals and deadlines on behalf of the team, I feel like that means like they make sure that everything gets done when it's supposed to get done.
That is also right, because he is involved in day-to-day operations or day-to-day activities, right? You
Right.
said, okay. Yeah, Akhil?
Yeah, hi. I think so. Scrum Master basically, is somebody who understands the scope of work, understands the capabilities of his team, the
Right.
the technologies available, capabilities of the technology, so on and so forth, and just ends up acting as that bridge between, the scope versus the resources available.
Wow. Have you Googled this out, or did this come on your own? You can be
No,
honest.
I swear I didn't. I mean, I just said
Oh,
that.
perfect. Because the bridge, The bridge word is very important and is very critical and it's very impactful because it does, mean what you said. A Scrum Master is more or less like a bridge between the development team and the product owner. And yes, he does connect within the team as well, as we have, assuming we have 5 to 6 people, and then to build that team together, to kind of guide them for any technical difficulties, or to ensure that everything is running smoothly. If somebody is on a leave, ensure the other person, or we have a shadow or backup resource, or anything and everything, ensuring the meetings are happening fine, all that. So thank you for adding this word. And by the way, guys, bridging the gap is one of the keyword for this role. You can jot it down if you have your notepad with you. Okay, last but definitely not the least, Babuji, please just share what you feel from, what you understand from these lines. Yeah. Babu, you there? Okay, have you unmuted yourself? Yeah, Babu, will you please unmute yourself and
Yeah. I'm sorry. I had some
it's
problem.
okay, it happens. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I understand the Scrum Master bridge the gap between the product owner and the Scrum team, and take
Yes.
take the ownership of any hindrance that has been come in the goals. He will take
Right.
care of the hindrance always, and he will commit to the deadlines on behalf of the team to make sure.
Babu, your
product done.
voice is little low for me. Can you speak a little louder, please?
Sure. So also, he makes sure that deadlines has been followed on behalf of the
Right.
team.
Okay. So I actually feel that you guys have only answered, but let me add one, what I would say, correlation type of understanding to you, so you will know better.
Okay.
Remember our school days, okay?
Mhm.
So, and we all used to have a dedicated class teacher, okay? So she was the one who used to, she or he was the one who used to, along with teaching the subject, had additional responsibilities like taking attendance, ensuring the projects are getting submitted and the class is behaving fine. If there is any science project, she was the one who used to be involved with the team. And if there's any picnic or trips or whatever, she was like the caretaker or the leader. So this is your class teacher and this is your principal or head teacher or whatever you call it, or head of the school. So you get the difference. So how often do you interact with your principal? Do you interact with them on daily basis in your school?
No.
I did not. That was not a great day when you used to interact with them, unless there is a prize or a distribution or any appraisal, or otherwise it was not a great scene. There used to be always after discipline and achieving this and higher results. But whereas your class teacher, she was the one with whom you used to interact with every day, right? That is, she was your go-to person. He or she was your go-to person, isn't it? Nobody has gone to school, I guess. People are not reacting only. I'm just wondering, no? Are you able to understand or not? That's what I've tried to, simplify this concept.
Yeah, that's what I actually meant when I said about the Scrum Master, that Scrum Master is actually a bridge. That Akhil actually used a very right word when I said interface. A bridge
Yes.
between the product
You
owner.
did mention this word, Vandana, bridge. You did? I didn't hear it.
No. I said I meant bridge, but I used the word interface.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
See,
so bridge between, he said product owner and Scrum Master. So is he not a bridge between the product owner, the Scrum team, and the client too?
he is a bridge between, to be very honest, everybody and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Because see what happens. Okay, I'll give you this.
So basically, Scrum Master is like a project manager, right?
You can say so, but
because other than, project manager also looks at the finance part. Scrum Master, I'm not sure, looks at the financials of the project or not, right?
So see, in this, that visibility is given to a product owner because he has the high your
Yeah.
accessibility to the senior management and vendors and all that.
That's
See,
what I.
Scrum Master, I'll tell you very sorry. Yeah, go ahead, continue first, then I'll start.
So who manages the timelines for the project in the this
We will come
process?
to that. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Who manages? It's like we as a whole team has to decide. See, Scrum Master, though he is doing all this, everything, but he is not the only person working on the project, right? Rather,
Yeah.
it's not a single man's job, right?
Yeah.
So we have to.
So majorly it will be the Scrum team because they know how much time do they need to work on those.
Okay. So for example, a teacher gave you homework. Okay. For example, she gave you some basic algebra homework. Why algebra? Because I love algebra.
Same
So
here.
yeah, if you don't, that can't help it. So imagine if your teacher gives you homework and as kids, you'll say, we'll take 1 week to finish it. Do you think the teacher will agree to that? If it's a simpler one? What he'll say, others. You have to finish it by tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So, though you know the subject, though you know how to work, but the timelines which you give are not always what are actual. So same with the Scrum team. Though Scrum team is skilled, Scrum team is very well equipped. They are working on the things, but I'm not saying they'll act like children, but many a times just to supervise and ensure the timelines along with the buffer, we have Scrum Master. See, it's like having a team which is codependent in such a way that they make each and every person independent. That's a very good statement, by the way, I just made. So imagine they are relied on each and everybody, but because of this reliance and this cooperation, they can work so well individually. Right? Because the Scrum team knows that we have the Scrum Master for any technical difficulty or for any guidance things. Scrum Master knows we have product owner in case there is any escalation or in case there is any requirement that is coming out of the box, and product owner knows I have my team who is working diligently on development, and along with that, Scrum Master is managing them quite well. And he is very much connected to me. So you get that?
Yeah. I mean, basically, the Scrum Master works closely with the Scrum team, the product owner, the client, and makes sure the sprint is actually conducted very smoothly, whatever it takes.
Yes, I'll give you, I don't know, one very simple and nice example just popped in my head. Just imagine the 1950s or 60s or or the simple days time. Now have you seen the movies? I don't know about the Hollywood movies, when typical Bollywood movies, I used to see that mother is very close to the kids and father is like the head of the house and he's a little strict one, he manages the finances, but the kids are scared to talk to him. Kind of a similar situation, though development team doesn't get scared or they doesn't, they're not, that doesn't mean they can't approach. But the thing is, because we have the Scrum Master in between as a bridge, as a connecting person or a connecting source, everything runs smoothly. And see, all of them have their own set of responsibilities, okay? For product owner, it's not that easy to connect with you every day because he has maybe or mostly he has meeting with other stakeholders. He has discussion with senior management. He is talking to the customers, So it's not that he don't want to, but he doesn't want to. But it's like he simply has other things in his plate. Okay, so from that point of view. Now, I'll just request Akhil to read out the Scrum team part.
Sure. So Scrum team does all that lead them towards the sprint goal. Works with the Scrum Master to prioritize the items from the product backlog in the sprint planning.
Right.
Not Scrum Master organizes them, it is self-organizing. Need to attend every stand-up and other ceremonies. They have to participate in all the meetings despite their nature, and have to ensure that all the findings of the meetings are getting practically addressed in the project.
Very well said. Thank you. Thank you for reading it out. By the way, I just want to highlight in one of the more important point which we didn't discuss much. It's like Scrum Master also organizes Scrum ceremonies and processes. We will come to that in upcoming sessions, but it simply means all the meetings, all the ceremonies, like, you have a sprint review, we have sprint retrospective. Before that, the sprint starts, we have sprint planning. So all these are like meetings or events, when they call it ceremonies and events. So all these things are mainly organized by Scrum Master, and Scrum team, as an integral part of this project or this development, has to attend each and every ceremony. Now see the stark difference. Product owner is not expected, or it's not mandatory for him to attend each and every meeting. Do you see anything mentioned about that in product owner? No. So definitely he is there in the kickoff meeting or in the beginning of the meetings, but then he is not expected, or he is not, supposed, or not. I will not say supposed, but he is not the one who has any compulsion of attending the meetings. Whereas development team, yes, because try to understand, if you're working on a project, you are the hardcore team who will develop, who will create, who will make things. Then you should know what is happening in that project, right? You should know what is the requirements are. You should know what is the ask is. You should know what is the timelines are, and by when you should be able to complete it. So it is as simple as that, that you are working on something on your own, that your delivery matters. So that is why Scrum team, it is just mentioned, they do everything that leads them towards achieving the sprint goal. So for example, assuming when we said customer to no to the group chat of 8 people, like how we have on WhatsApp, if the customer say, okay, not 8 people, I need at least 4 people group chat. So now that on that, if we could work on and we want to achieve, Scrum team will work on it and achieve this, right? So that is why that sprint goal would be developing of 4 persons group chat. Okay, so this is their goal. Work with the Scrum team, Scrum Master, to prioritize the items for the product backlog in the sprint planning. Now you see there are 2 interesting words. One is the sprint planning and second is the product backlog. We will come to them, but before that, what I wanted to highlight is sprint planning is as simple as it sounds. You plan the sprint, okay? Sprint planning. But what is the product backlog? Do you let me know, what do you understand by the word product backlog? Any thoughts? Just in simple words, yeah. And these are the very important keywords. So if you're writing it down, please mention product backlog and sprint planning. Yes?
So product backlog is basically the collection of the requirements that the product is required to have, right?
Yes.
And suppose, so on priority basis, we can say, right?
Yes, very much. Yes, right.
And the
Anybody?
requirements, the requirements that are pending also goes in a product backlog.
Yeah.
All the requirements pending to be done, even which are as in low priority, those are also mentioned. So basically product backlog is like your whiteboard or blackboard, which used to have earlier. Therein, what you do, as per your priority, you mention all the requirements. Okay, so the higher, a high priority requirement will be at top, the low priority requirement will be at the end, and they'll keep shuffling as if
Exactly.
says, maybe changing the theme color to I would say orange was the customer need, and it was a very simple job. So we kept it at low, assuming it's a low priority. But if tomorrow customer comes and say, no, we want to have this color depicted right away. So now that becomes a high importance task, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So similar way, depending on this, we have to prioritize. And one very interesting thing that I want to highlight here, which has not been mentioned here. What do you think, who manages the product backlog? Any guesses? Manages means who is the owner of that, or who is the one who can touch it and who can, update it or edit it. It's not that everybody can go and just write on. See, when teacher teaches you,
It's the Scrum Master.
Scrum Master.
Okay, others?
With the business analyst.
Okay, anybody else?
Can be
No.
Scrum team.
Okay, you're just taking every name now, okay?
Whole team is responsible.
Yeah,
Where
right.
Yeah.
Whole
testing,
team, that means when the teacher was teaching
Yeah.
you, comes and tells you to solve, then everybody just goes and solves on the whiteboard or what? I'm enjoying the discussion, but we are not even close to the answer. Yeah, Nabila, did you give your input? What do you think? Who manages the and listen to my words? I'm saying
Is
who
the product owner?
finally.
No.
Yes, I know this comes as a surprise, but very, very important responsibility. See, it's like, let me give you in this scenario, like how the principal manages the values and I would say the objectives or goals of the school. Okay, you as a team can, you as a student or maybe a best student or a teacher can go and discuss with them and tell them, okay, our school should participate in say the football match, or our school should participate in science olympiad. It would give some more maybe awards or visibility to our school, like that. But then ultimately it's your principal's decision. Okay, and that comes with along with trustees and all that. I don't want to get into the nitty-gritties of it, but yes. So the product owner, see, we have been talking about his authority, his overall vision, his connectivity with senior management and customers. So yes, and they say too many cooks spoil the soup. That way, we just cannot have everybody, changing the requirements or updating. So tomorrow, we as a development team, tomorrow I am a tester. I feel this is not working fine. I just go and change the requirement, and that ultimately results in some hindrance in development. Will that work? Yes or no?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yes. So that, and this is how things are managed in Scrum. That is why I kept this question at the last, because I was pretty sure you all would answer Scrum Master. I don't know why you answer Scrum team, but generally nobody guesses or answers the product owner, but that is the right answer. And this can be a interview question as well. By saying interview question, I just popped in my head. Last Tuesday, I so nicely and very gently and very persuasive manner requested all of you to make videos. I did not receive a single video.
Sorry, Prerna. Actually, I have it in my
Let me
mind. My
finish.
kids
It's not
were on
only you.
March.
Let me
They
finish.
were on March break, so I was so busy with them.
I know. But still, as a trainer, I'll have my say, right. So I just want to you guys are commendable as a team. It's like इसने नहीं बनाया तो मैं भी नहीं बनाऊंगा video. It's like
It's
you're
not
just
that.
acting opposite to Japanese people. When they say if nobody's working, I should work. You are saying if
No,
nobody's working,
no,
why should
I would say I should have actually let you know. Yes.
No, that's fine. But then see, I'm not sure how active you guys are in other group or you're there in the other groups. But trust me, in the other tracks, people are making videos. It can be as small as 1 or 2 minutes. I know it sounds very small, but then when you start your camera and start talking, it can be funny. You can get conscious. But that is what we want. We want you to first of all crack that self-conscious barrier and talk. And once you start talking, you actually get into the RJing mode, and it makes you so comfortable. So when you talk in front of a camera, you can talk in front of anybody and everybody. And then we don't ask you to sing a song or any or talk on any latest development and news. We're asking you to revise whatever we have taught. So that what does that do? It actually prepares you for the interview, guys. That is my goal, or that is our whole intention. And trust, and along with that, I didn't want to disclose that, right? But let me share that those small videos of self introduction, along with the understanding or your preparation towards your towards your course are many a times marketed by our HRs to the industry or to the companies also. So whenever we find that somebody's ready or towards the end of the course or in between, if your video is really nice, we could see that you are talking confidently, you know the concepts, and this is how you'll market yourself, right? So the ultimate goal of achieving the job or getting a job is like this way. It's not only you. See, I definitely appreciate you coming in at late and joining these sessions, being active, being responsible. That's absolutely great. Thank you so much for that. As a trainer, as a team member, as a Guru Schools, person. But then, what do you have to do next for yourself more? See, as HR, as trainers, we are doing everything we can to promote you. But when you have such small videos or when you market or promote yourself, that's a better word. Promote yourself, that has a different effect, So I don't know, I tell you not, but from my other track, a lady by the name of Anila, she just joined yesterday on 21st. So she started her work and she's so excited. And luckily, there's one more person from other track from our Guru schools already there. So do you see what we are building here? So tomorrow, if any of you, or rather, I would just wish all of you go and join there. We would have our Guru schools teams there, right? And then we are always there to support you. So I'm providing her, all the support which she requires while she just gets starting on the job. So have that feeling, I understand there are holidays. I understand there are some days when you are totally tied up or some days when you have other plans. But then I think daily half an hour for yourself is very important. And from this point of view, I'm not saying just start your video and start talking. First, prepare the notes or, watch this video, write down in your notebooks. Mostly all the people who create or who make videos have their notes handy. They read out, but then there are people like Benson and, other Radha and stuff from other track. They just start talking, it's like they are like news anchors, and it's such a great feeling to look at them delivering or doing that much. And I really want all of you to see this or to make that. And I want you to see like that. So please, wherever you have time, put in some efforts, because you never know which are the videos are being promoted to the industry, to the HRs. And trust me, they are. That is why we are having people getting placed. And trust me, the success ratio has been just growing and growing and growing. We have people interviewing every week for different roles. I am majorly in MBA and Agile track, but there are other tracks like SaaS and DevOps and technical ones and testing and everybody, and there is movement in every track, and it is such a great feeling. We have so many vendors and so many companies with us. They want to interview, so it's like life is calling you. Where are you? Like that, okay? So I think enough on this. Please make up your mind. If you have any doubts about what to say, how to say, let me know. We can connect. You can DM me on WhatsApp. But I just want you to have that initiative. It really, as a trainer, it makes us very happy to see you guys in also putting in extra effort. And then we also go ahead and talk to the HRs and ensure that all of you are there, not as of now. You have to like finish your training. Towards the finish, you prepare your CV, those RRB sessions, resume ready preparation sessions, and then definitely yes. Okay. So just wanted to highlight that while we were talking about interview. So coming back to the Scrum teams, as we were mentioning, they work towards the goal. They work closely with Scrum Master, and see the very important thing. Scrum Master doesn't organize them, they are self-organized. What does that mean? Hello?
So I think basically like while during the sprint, while the team is working on the sprint, they have those daily standards. So which is kind of, they know every day that they have to meet in the morning and see what the progress is, what is to be done on that specific day, any changes have come.
Yes.
So it's kind of self-organized. That's what I think.
The process is self-organized, but then this doesn't answer my question why the team is why the team is self-organized. First of all, they are very skilled people. Second, they themselves are very independent and expert in their field. And third, they know in which setup they are working. Okay, they know they are in agile. They know what is expected out of it. So it's not like handling any kids. It's like handling some scholars who know where they are going, who know they have their exams coming, or then there are some set of students, one whom you have to push a lot. Maybe we were like that at some point of time in our childhood. And there are some set of students who are so self-motivated, who are so driven. Okay, now let me give you a very funny and quick example.
So
Have you-
basically, the Scrum Master doesn't need to micromanage them. They self-manage them.
Absolutely right. Micromanage is the word. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Have you guys seen the movie Tare Zameen Par?
Yeah.
All of you? I'm not sure about Nabila.
No.
Okay, not Akhil also, not? Okay. So just let me give a quick gist. In that, there are two kids from the same house. The elder brother is the one who is determined, who is disciplined, who is self-driven, who is self-motivated, who just does everything on his own. He has his own alarm. He wakes up on time. He studies. He eats right. He does everything right. And then we have the younger brother who is like in always in his own world, who doesn't follow that schedule, who doesn't know what is happening in outside world. He's just in his own mind and his own world. So his mother and his parents are always have to push him to ensure that he's getting in the school on time and studies properly and all that. So same way, assuming and the expectation is our agile team falls in the first category, where they are self-motivated and they know what they're doing. Okay? Yeah. So coming back to the next point, they have to be a part of every meetings and every stand-up, definitely, because they are the people who are working on it, working on the actual things. And they have to participate in meetings, and despite their nature, they have to ensure that all the findings of the meetings are getting practically addressed in the project. Yeah. So this means, though we have by the way, let me share the concept of stand-up meeting with you. It's a very nice and my personal actual way to work. Stand-up meetings mean you actually stand up in that meeting. First of all, you don't go to any conference room and you sit on your comfortable chairs and just relax. No, you gather at one place, maybe in your cubicles or in a conference meeting, and everybody is standing. That is why, first of all, it's called a stand-up meeting. Let me be very honest with you. Okay. Second, the maximum duration of this meeting is supposed to be 15 minutes or so, not more than that. So it's not like any other lengthy meetings where the things are going on and on and on. But no, you are there. Everybody gathers and everybody has a limited amount of time and you have to share. Okay, so what you have to share? You have to share 3 things and only 3 things. First, what did you work on in the earlier hour or earlier day or earlier 8 hours? What are you going to work on today? And third, if there is any issue or findings that you like. So guys, this is very important and practical concept that is called stand-up meetings, wherein you just discuss what you worked on. So the Scrum Master or other team members, or for example, if a developer says, okay, I've developed this functionality of group chat of 4 people. You know what implication it has on the tester? The tester already knows if he's worked on that, it's going to very soon come in the testing. So let me start preparing test cases for that. Let me start test plans for that. So you get how the things move. Then if the development team says that today I'm going to try working on that 8 people group chat because we had delayed or we asked for deviation earlier, but no, I think we should be able to because I've earlier developed the 4 people chat. Now the Scrum Master knows as he's going to try something new or something out of the box, which we already delayed earlier. So he might need, or he or she might need some additional guidance. So I have to be very closely with them, though he is already still. And third and most important is, if there are any hindrance, if there's any issues, if there any problem, they discuss. So what happens, and see, this typically happens in development scenario. If I face any technical challenge, maybe I'm getting some error. You all know 404 error, right? Page not found. Assuming that error, because everybody knows that error. If I say that I'm getting that error in particular thing, and then Babu comes and tell me, hey, Prerna, I know how the error to be resolved. I have faced that in earlier development. Let me help you on that. That's it. Or maybe Nabila comes and tells, okay, I know about this issue and I've worked on it. No, let me also give you some clarity. So you understood what we did here? Everybody's on the same page and everybody's already helping each other and everybody knows what everybody's working on. So you're always in sync, right? Everybody's always on the same page. They're together, though they're working in different functionalities. So does this answer, or does this give good explanation about the Scrum meeting? Are we good?
I have a question here. The stand-up meeting, stand-up meeting, you said that whether the people involved in the Scrum team will take initiative of the stand-up meeting, or how it works?
No, there is no initiative as such. Stand-up meetings or Scrum meetings are called as, it's a daily ritual, if I have to call it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Daily meeting, yeah. It's like how you have a lunch break or tea break. You have to have a stand-up meeting at least once. Many a times in a very strict scenario, in my earlier experience, we used to have it twice a day because it was such a I would say not critical. It was a very time-bound project, so we were working on a very strict timeline. So we used to meet early, at 11 in the morning, and we used to also meet at 5 or 4 in the evening after lunch or after 5 hours, like kind of like a midday meeting again. So it's like a daily ritual. It's a daily practice, if I have to call it, and it has to be conducted. Because this is how, see, Scrum Master also has enough of his job on his hand. So we'll not go and talk to every team member and ask them one-to-one. That doesn't make sense, right? So in this team, we have the visibility of everybody talking about everything, and they know what is happening in the team. Okay? Does this answer? Everybody good about the roles? See, I've almost given 1 hour to this explanation because it is very, very important. Okay?
Yeah.
I think today the energy is lacking. Either people are sleepy, or they haven't had proper dinner, or I have no idea, or still they are in the vacation mood. Is it that?
No.
Was one single no I got from Babu, I guess only. I think he doesn't agree to that. Yeah, Akhil?
I said no, none of those.
Oh, you said no. I'm so sorry. Yeah. So Akhil agrees to that. What about others? Today, I mean, there is no sound. It's like, isn't it?
I said before, Akhil. No.
Okay, you also said fine. Okay, so Vandana and Akhil are cool. What about Babu, Shoiba, and Nabila?
Even me too. I said that no.
I didn't listen. Oh, okay. If it is that way, then fine. Okay, you all said, I'm sorry, I did not listen. Fine. Let's go to the next slide. So this is very important, and this is very interesting also, and quite simple to understand. So I'll just request Nabila to start with the first paragraph. Yeah.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, quite well.
Okay. It says sprint planning is an event in the Scrum framework where the team determines the product backlog items they will work on during the sprint and discuss their initial plan for completing those product backlog items.
Okay.
Teams do you want me to carry on?
That's it. We'll go step by step. Yeah. Are you coughing? Please have some water. Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. It's my son. I'm putting my daughter to sleep, and my son's here, and he's coughing.
Oh, okay, fine. Okay, please take care. They're fine. Yeah? So coming back to this point, guys, a sprint planning as it's mentioned, is an event. Okay. See, in Agile and Scrum, we have events and ceremonies. It sounds so nice to hear ceremonies, we just get those wedding or the festive vibes when we hear the word ceremonies. I personally like it. So now this is an event, okay, because it's a very crucial one. What it says is the team determines or the team sits for a discussion and kind of highlights or kind of decides what are the points on the product backlog that has to be worked on during this sprint. Okay, now sprint is simply a time durations. In Agile, we have generally 1 to 4 weeks sprint, okay, depending on project to project. 1 week is generally very small. It's like just 5 working days or, around 40 hours. So it's a very small time. So we generally have 3 to 4 weeks sprints. So assuming in that 4 week sprints, what all things we have to work on, that is decided. See, the name suggests it's a sprint planning meeting or sprint planning event. So that means all the planning is being done at this stage. Okay, so what planning we require for our sprint? First of all, to know what are our work areas and what all we have to work on. Okay, that's one thing. Can I just request Babu to read out the next paragraph?
Sure. Teams may find it helpful to establish a sprint goal and use that as the basis by which they determine which product backlog items they work on during that sprint.
Very well said. Very well said. So assuming now let me give you a very simple example instead of all the complicated ones. It's like assuming you have maths Olympiad exam. You, okay, not your kids or anything. Just go back to your childhood. And assuming you have maths Olympiad exam in next month, maybe say 1st of May. Okay, we'll take April. Assuming we are at the end of the March and you have exam on the 1st of May, maths Olympiad. Why? Because I like maths. So just a hypothetical one, because we have such Olympiad exams in schools. So what should be the criteria of your study? Tell me, for maths Olympiad.
Maths.
Wow, trust me, I was waiting for this answer. Sometimes the answers are very simple, we complicate them. So the maths Olympiad, your criteria for study should be maths. Anything and everything that has to do with maths. It can be algebra, geometry, trigonometry, I don't know, logic and probability, whatnot, everything. But then, do you think you will sit and start studying for history and civics and science? I mean, forget about the homework part and you're going to routine school. Just ignore that for understanding. Your focus has to be maths Olympiad because that is your goal, right? So while you want to achieve that goal, you will ensure that you do not divert from your goal and you do everything that makes you or that helps you to achieve that goal. So same way in sprint planning, when you have a goal of, for say, achieving a group chat functionality, you will have all the backlog items which are supporting to this functionality, right? Do you understand where I'm coming?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So that is what it simply says, that as per the goal, on that basis, they determine which product backlog item they have to work upon in that sprint. So assuming this till 1st May, and if we are in 31st March, so April month is like our sprint. So, and my goal is maths Olympiad. So I have to take similar items from product backlog, like the things that I have to work on, right? So this is what it says. Am I good on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Superb. Yeah. Nabila, can you read out the next paragraph? Yeah. No, Nabila, sorry, Shoaiba. Nabila just read out. Na? Shoaiba, will you please read out?
Yeah. The purpose of the sprint planning is to define what can be delivered in the sprint and how that work will be achieved. Sprint planning is done in collaboration with the whole Scrum team. The product owner describe the objective or goal of the sprint and the what backlog items contribute to that goal.
Yeah, so the last line is more or less similar to what we studied in the earlier paragraph. And the first line, see, it's very important. What is the purpose? They're saying the purpose is to define what can be delivered in that sprint. So, if the customer has asked for a group chat, so this is what they're expecting. So that has to be delivered in the sprint. And how that will be achieved. How that will achieve means what all backlog items will have to work upon to achieve that goal. And very important thing is, see the sentence is framed so beautifully with such a proper choice of sprint planning is done with collaboration. Okay, collaboration is the word. So when I say you have to mention your keywords, if you have your pen and pencil, please write this statement. It's a very important and useful statement to use in interviews or while you're talking to other team members in future. So sprint planning is done in collaboration with the whole Scrum team. Whole Scrum team means your development team, your Scrum Master, and majorly your product owner as well, because they all are called as Scrum team. So someone was telling me that development team can just go and update. Like, you're not telling me, we were discussing a product backlog item, or they can talk to the customer. So understand this, before we even start the sprint, we have this dedicated event of sprint planning, and we ensure that everybody's there together giving their inputs. See, for example, if we have to work on that group chat delivery, and if my technical architect says for whatever reason it's not feasible to develop this in this 4-week sprint, okay, if my technical architect is the person, he is like the person you go to for any technical doubt. That's why his name is technical architect, assuming that they have mostly all the technical knowledge and they are the go-to people for us. So in this scenario, as a Scrum Master, as a product owner, we have to take a call with the customer that, okay, no 4 weeks, but we might require 2 sprints in that. We'll have it delivered, but we'll take more time. And this is of highest priority. So or any other smaller task, or changing color, changing pictures, or maybe changing some layout and design, they will have less priority. So you understand, it's the simple example for this is how we all used to study for our exams, okay? So important questions at the top, we used to kind of mug up or memorize them at first because they were important, they were gonna come in exam. And simple and easy ones will be at the end because you know them and they're very simple. You can just glance through at the end of the revision. So, okay, are we good about this?
Yes.
This is easy to understand if you ask me, because I think in organizations or in personal life, honestly, with corresponding to studies and exams, this is what we used to do. So it's very practical and it's very realistic. Okay. Yes.
So Prerna,
Yeah.
Uh, so when we looked at the slide number 22, Scrum role recap, shouldn't we saw that one as a Scrum team last? So should that be not / development team actually, because Scrum team is Scrum Master, product owner, and development team.
Actually, it is like that, but it is also similar to your question when you are asked why development and maintenance is same or different, right? So if I have to say, though yes, they are called as development team, but if you think little more closely, now this team has more people, and generally these are only individual members. Okay.
Yeah.
Many a times they are also called as Scrum team, because we already have a team, and though they are like lead and seniors, but they are also called as a team. So yeah, to answer your question, you are right. But then both the terms are used as synonymously, to be honest. Mostly development team for people who are working in development, and Scrum team as a whole. But even as a Scrum team, there is no harm in it.
Yeah.
It can be used interchangeably. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, as you see these circular, I would say symbols or design. This is a pattern wherein we work in sprint. Is it visible? Okay, this will come in the next, I think, slides. I'll share that with you. Okay. Let's move out to 1 second. Okay, so why fixed length time box sprint? So where I just shared that the sprint is always of maybe starting with 1 week to 4 weeks. Nobody asked me why. I was happy, but let me tell you, it's like we have to have a duration fixed for every sprint. We cannot have one sprint for 2 weeks, second sprint for 6 weeks, and one sprint for 1 month. No. So, and why it is time boxes? That is why, because when we have a fixed time interval, we know what kind of delivery we are able to do. Okay. So that is why we have this fixed time length, or it is also called as time boxed. Okay, it's also called as time box. Okay.
So you're
So-
saying every sprint is or exactly the same
Yes.
length?
Yes, absolutely right. Yes, we do not change the timeline, because if you start your project with a particular sprint of 4 weeks, then you have to ensure, and it's kind of mandatory that to have these meetings, these sprints for the same interval. Okay.
Exactly same, not 4 to 5
Yes.
or okay.
No, if we confirm on 4 weeks of sprint, it will be 4 weeks throughout your project. Okay. Why it is done that? Because to have a balance and about the delivery, about how we release is also kind of close to delivery. When we release something to the customer, means we deliver something to the customer. Now this is also synonym. It's like can be used interchangeably. Allowing enough time to complete a useful amount of work in each sprint. So this means, see, if the duration is too small, it's very difficult, because though we are taking example of developing video chats and stuff, but imagine if we have a very critical software for any hospital management, or any, you have all those softwares you see when you go to for any scans or any tests in hospitals. They're really very critical. Even a 0.001 level of accuracy is also expected in those kind of setup. Also, other example is which I had been given is, imagine if your particular software is getting used in some spaceship program, or some health related test, or some exam, result, whatever. Kind of board kind of software they have, wherein your accuracy is very important. So for such kind of things, we really have to ensure that our work is getting done properly and effectively. That's why we have this particular time sprint. And once an appropriate length is found, it typically stays the same. So now, Vandana, to answer your question, see, even here we have mentioned it typically stays the same. So that means we have come to this understanding that we are not supposed to play with it or change it. But if there is a 1 or 2 days extension, I'm not saying you change the sprint, but then that's kind of, depending on the severity and your understanding with the customer is fine. But that doesn't simply means today you deliver something in 4 weeks and next month or next sprint, you say, I'll take 6 weeks. No, if you think it will gonna take 6 weeks, you have to be upfront in the beginning and say that this is an additional work we'll do in the next week, in next sprint. In this particular sprint of 4 weeks, I'll be only able to deliver this much. Okay. So this is how you communicate. And guys, we learned in the earlier sessions, communication is the key in this scenario. And whatever it is, yes, no, maybe, could not be, has to be communicated with the customer. Okay. Because they are so closely involved with you. This will also quite easy to understand, I feel. Are we good? Should I go to the next slide, please?
Yes.
I
Thank-
have a quick question. That last
Yeah,
point out there, once an appropriate length is found, it typically stays the same. Can you just elaborate a bit on that?
sorry. Can you please repeat your question?
The last point out there, once an appropriate length is found, it typically stays the same. Can you just elaborate
Yes.
a little more on that?
Yes. So this means, see, for example, that's why I gave the earlier examples that we are taking for an understanding purpose of sampling or examples of, easy understanding concepts like group chat or Facebook lookalike website or any HRMS website where your attendance, salary, and, overall things are, from HR point of view. But in reality, there can be complex, automobile or textile related, design related, any other software or any other projects, right? So for that, what we do, we start with the sprint of a particular duration. So if I have to confirm that, okay, I'll work for a sprint of 4 weeks, okay, generally the sprint starts from for 1 week till 4 to 6 weeks, depending. Generally it is till 4 weeks. So 4 weeks, like a month, is an ideal period. Okay, ideal, I'm saying it's not the only period. Some people have sprint of 3 weeks also, 2 weeks also, depending on their work and their complexity of tasks to be delivered. But what it says is, once you decide that if it is 4 weeks, we kind of are expected to stick to it. So that's why it says, once an appropriate length is found, length matlab, the duration is considered, it typically stays the same. So you don't on purpose change the duration of this sprint. Okay? Does it answer your question, Akhil?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you for asking. Now I want all of you to read out the one-liner. Shoiba, can you just start with the first point? And we can just go one by one. Yeah.
Yeah, sprint planning typically involves the entire team.
Okay, Vandana.
A product owner identifies the candidate product backlog items and their relative priorities, as well as proposes a sprint goal.
Okay, Babu, next point.
Next one is the team members determine how many of the product backlog items they focus. They will be able to complete and determine how they will deliver those product backlog items.
Okay, Akhil.
Uh, a Scrum Master or coach typically facilitates sprint planning in order to ensure that the discussion is effective and that there is agreement to the sprint goal and that the appropriate product backlog items are included in the sprint backlog.
Okay. So I think we've understood all this, but still I'll just throw some light on this line by line. So yeah, sprint planning typically involves the entire team. See, they're saying typically, that means there is no compulsion on everyone. When I say that means product owner only, but if I have to decide on my development task, then it's kind of indirectly, it means my development team has to be there. Development team works very closely with the Scrum Master, on daily basis, on technical terms or whatnot. So Scrum Master also has to be there. Now, the last but not the least, product owner, who is the owner of the product backlog. See, imagine that as a whiteboard or blackboard. Okay, he writes all the points. So when you're updating or when you're deciding on the product backlog, even he has to be there, right? So overall, even if it says typically, it ultimately says everybody who's involved or who has responsibilities are supposed to join this, planning. So what this product owner does, he identifies the candidate. Candidate means which are the to be added line items in the product backlog. So what all new requirements will have to work, and then he has their priority. That's what I was saying. If the customer comes and asks, I want a group chat to be developed on priority, then changing the design, changing the color, picture, and whatever information how to be displayed, those all things will have less priority. And along with that, see, it's a very nice word. He proposes a sprint goal. So he doesn't tell them, he proposes. So when he comes and says, hey, if we are, developing 4 persons group chat, can we look at 8 people group chat that is active on WhatsApp right now that can be integrated in our website? So he proposes that, okay, because he has the vision. He knows what the customer wants. He knows how we can get more business. He knows how we can get more profit. He knows how we can be in good books of the customer. So he proposes this, but then on the reality, on the actual front line, the development team has to work and they has to give their inputs or yes or no. So what the team determines, how many product backlog items they forecast they will be able to complete. So see, for product owner, it can be an easy task of proposing, but the real thing has to be done by the team, right? So they'll forecast that, okay, I can do this or I can't do that, or I as in we as a team. So can we achieve this in 4 weeks? So they can be upfront and say, for 8 people's group chat, we would require 2 sprints. It will not get completed in this sprint, or at least we'll come up with this much functionality of having the audio. For the video or chat, we will work in the next sprint. Anything like that. So this is a very simple example for understanding, but I want you to connect to it. Okay. So product owner is the one who proposes it, but the team is the one who determines and who foresee it, that okay, can we achieve it or we can't achieve it. If they say as a team, see, for example, if someone is going on a leave for their marriage, okay, they have taken a leave for 1 month. If that person is not there, and if that person is the super technical person, so I'm not saying the work will halt. We will have some backup for everybody else, but the pace or the speed will change, right? It does or it does not.
Yes.
The speed with which your mother cooks and the speed with which your elder sister or your elder brother or surprisingly your father cooks is different, right? The amount of time, the taste, the actual output is very different when your mother cooks, and it's very different when somebody else cooks. So same way, the work will get done by, if not by that person, the other person, but the delivery, the timeline, and maybe the quality would differ. So we'll have to consider all these things. Somebody's leave, some unplanned things, or some event, or somebody is going to a conference from office. There are many things. Many senior level meetings are there, and some team members are a part of that particular organization. Organization means in companies also they have some DevOps group or some developed .NET group and Java group and whatnot group. They have BA group. So all that thing they have to consider, and they have to say, okay, we will be able to finish the audio part. The video part we can take up in the next sprint, right? So see, my only motive or intention of giving all this example is when you watch this video again, or when you try to recollect this concept, you should know where it is coming from. Okay, this is very important. That is why I try to retain the example. Okay, and last but not the least, Scrum Master typically, see, Scrum Master, I don't know, I have such mixed feeling for this guy or for the girl. He's such a poor chap that he does, though is called as leader, but then he sadly does all the work as in he has been given this responsibility of managing and arranging all the meetings, okay? And that doesn't only mean just to send an invite, you have to ensure that everybody is available, the product owner is available, their calendar is free. If they are at a geographically same location, he has to ensure that the conference room is free. Trust me, he has to ensure that there is a proper pen and marker and a whiteboard where the meeting is being recorded, or people are taking notes. So though these all seem such minute and some not so relevant points, but yes, he has to do all this, and he does all this. Okay. So yes, the Scrum Master typically facilitates sprint planning in order to discuss effectively and to have an agreement on the sprint goal. So now see how the poor guy is kind of getting sandwiched. The product owner says we have to have 8 people group video chat. The team says we can maximum do audio chat, video chat we can try later. And now here is our servant leader. That's why it's called a servant leader. Though he's a leader, but he actually works like a servant most of the time. So he is in a now jeopardy, like what to do, what we have to, what has to be determined as your goal. But then again, as a team, they all take this decision that as a development team is saying that they will not be able to complete the video chat part, then let us go ahead with it because it's not technically feasible for them. Then let's not push that. And then they all agree on a sprint goal. Okay. So this is how with everybody's input and everybody's involvement, a sprint planning meeting it takes place and it happens. And the ultimate goal of this meeting is you come up with the sprint goal and you also determine your product backlog items. So are we good? Any doubts, anything on this? Can I go to the next and last slide for this session? Because these are very important concepts. I don't want to overload you on this.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Now, if you have your phone handy, please take a picture of this. And Vandana, to answer your question, see, again, this team here also see, it's called as development team, and this entire team together is called as Scrum team.
Yeah.
And they are also called as Scrum team.
Yeah.
So see, this is a very beautiful and very easy to understand and simple, diagram. That's why I love to have diagrams or pictures in the presentation. That gives you a visual effect and very helpful for your understanding. Is see, he's a product owner. What he does, manages the product backlog, optimizes the value of the product. That means he ensures that there is the delivery is what is expected to the customer, and that gives the maximum value. Product means whatever you're working on, application, website, or any software. He's the product owner, so he's at the top. They kind of showed him on top, so because he has more authority and he's senior and stuff. Scrum manages the Scrum process and removes impediments. So he's the guy who manages anything and everything, who ensures that all the ceremonies are taken care of, all the meetings are properly held, everybody attends them. And if there is any doubt with this development team, he ensures that he gives them guidance. Okay, that is removes impediments. And last but not the least, the actual front workers or actual people who do all the day-to-day work of development, manages itself and creates done increments. Okay. What this means, first of all, that means they are self-organized, they manage themselves, they don't need any micromanagement. And create done increments means with every sprint, they have these line items which are completed, which are done. Incrementally means they finish with 4 people audio video chat, done. Now they'll go to 8 people audio chat. Once that is completed, it's done. Then they'll go to 8 people's video chat. Right?
Yeah, basically the milestones, right? They achieve the milestones.
Yes. That is what. So here I would like to end our session today because these 3 roles, sprint planning itself are as an event is very important, and I really appreciate if you guys could make notes and share pictures, and more than that, if you could have a small video, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, where you'll explain what are the 3 roles, what does product owner does, what does Scrum Master does, and what is the involvement of development team. And you could talk about them, that would be really happy. And to be very honest, when you talk and when you record yourself, it will be such a good revision for you that you might not have to read this again, because it will be kind of engraved in your memory and you'll be able to go ahead with it. without further revision. So that is my request. As always, please rewatch this video once it's uploaded on YouTube. I'll do that ASAP. And try to make videos, because that will really help you to boost up your confidence and your understanding as well. Fine. So
Prerna, videos like basically like, I mean, the amount of content that is there. So, I mean, you need a couple of 5-minute videos, or what is the expectation?
up to you, Vandana, how comfortable you are. You know, it's not that easy to talk in front of the camera for so long. So if you feel I can talk for 5 minutes here, I have videos wherein people have talked for around 15-20 minutes or half an hour also, or around 2 minutes video also, where they introduce yourself. See how it has to go. It's like, hi, I'm Vandana. I'm from BA Agile, BA Scaled Agile batch. This is the batch number. I'm not sure what is the batch number, maybe batch 5 or batch 6. And I'm here to introduce or share some details about Scrum Planning team, or individual roles in Scrum team. So that those are product owner, Scrum Master, and development team. So let me start with what product owner does. So like that, you have to just talk like the way I just explained, or in any other fashion you want to talk. You can show your handwritten notes during the video. Just keep the phone where you can see yourself comfortably, dressed properly as in not in the too comfortable one, the ones which you can share, your video with, and then just be presentable and talk. That's it. It will be like, that's what I'm saying. If it is a good video, we can have it on a website, or we can make a video, remix of all of your videos. See, we do this with other batches. If you don't have the links, I'll share for your reference. Okay, so you'll know how.
Yeah, if you can please share those links, that will be great.
Yes, we have a link on our feedback from other batch. I think I'll just search it. I'll share that with you guys. Okay.
Yeah, or we can just select one topic and talk about that.
Any topic that you're comfortable. Any topic.
Okay.
Topic, whatever we have learned now. What is Agile, how Agile works, difference between Agile and waterfall, how spiral works, anything that you feel you are comfortable on. But I'll really request you to do, because you will see the difference in you once you do that. I'm not the measure of that success or the confidence level boost. Trust me, it helps. Okay.
Okay.
So,
and the notes that you're saying, so whatever notes I'm kind of taking during the class, should I just click the pictures and send it to you? How do you want that?
Yeah, that's up to you. If you want them to write it down neatly, have this diagram. See, notes are all together for your reference. Okay. We just got to know that, okay, you're making notes, and we at times review them, ensuring there is nothing, there's no confusion in that and stuff. But notes are like your go-to thing when you go for any interview. Trust me, from the person who joined yesterday, she was the one. She's like, I just revise whatever was taught and whatever I mentioned, because when you have interviews and all, for how long you'll watch a video, or for how long you'll read a book or whatever, you'll read on net. If you have your notes and you just read a keyword, okay, servant leader, okay, remove impediments, okay, definition of done or manage itself, you know what we discussed about. That much your memory works fine. I'm pretty confident. Everybody's memory is that helpful. If we know one keyword, you can go ahead and explain everything. So did you get the understanding?
Yeah.
Okay. Still, if you have any doubts, feel free to message me, send voice notes. I'll get back to you. Okay. It's not.
Thank you.
I'll just explain once. If you have anybody else also, I'm actually surprised to see only Vandana asking. So that means everybody else is just listening and they're going to do on their own, or they are not interested.
So as you said, that the link that you are going to share, that will be helpful to understand what is expected of us.
Okay, I'll share one or two. I'll share one or two with you. Okay, fine. Okay. So now towards the end of our session, I'll start with Nabila. So Nabila, can you please share your feedback of this session in one word or one sentence? How was it? Please go ahead.
The way you explain it is very clear. So it's very easy to understand and follow along.
Thank you so much. I'm happy I could connect with you. See, this is the whole purpose of this explanation of going with easy examples, that you understand the concept, and then in reality, when you get into the industry, you know what is the relevance of it. Okay. So yeah, thank you so much. Over to Shoiba.
Yeah. So the amount of example you put in, that's the that's I like the most of the class, because I've these words are very new to me. Scrum, product owner.
Right,
So
absolutely right. These words are new. Right,
yeah.
right.
So when you give a example of like math, school teacher or principal, so it's related to our personal life also. So it's very easy to
Yes.
understand.
Today I did not give any biryani or food examples. See, I missed it.
No,
I light breakfast early, so I
yeah.
was not that hungry. So
Today you have send us everybody to
yeah,
the school life,
yes, yes,
principal, school teacher, and all.
yes. Absolutely. Because see, because you have been there, everybody has experienced that, and it's very easy
Yeah.
to relate. I don't want to give fancy examples of our technical projects wherein you would understand things unless you are a part of that. But
Yes.
in real life, when you now you know if product owner is a principal, how much interaction you have had. Though you have had,
Yes.
you are answerable to them and you know their authority. But then you're very close to your school teacher and the principal, right? Same,
Yes.
same pattern. Thank you so much. Yes, Babu, over to you.
It's very interesting to know how the team planning for the project and
Yes.
the ownership.
Isn't it fun?
Yes,
Isn't
yes,
it
absolutely,
different?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the how the product owner take his responsibility, them to the Scrum Master, how
Yes.
the whole team, when they want to have anything, that how they go for a stand-up meeting to understand what is that required.
Absolutely. Don't you wish this was to be followed in accounting also, when you had your team of say 4 or 5 people and you knew if everybody would have been in sync, it would have been so easy.
Correct, correct.
Because we all know who is working on what, and we are all in this together. That actually gives you a good sense of team building and togetherness. And see, that's why we studied in the earlier session that this team is very closely knit. They trust each other, they support each other, so they are like an extended family. And it's not like they're competing, though they might be on a different level. But here, for a project completion, they are like a one very closely knit family or team, and their only goal is to achieve and every sprint goal and ultimately project delivery. Right? So,
Yes.
so much, Babu. Yeah. Over to you, Akhil.
Uh, on a lighter note, Prerna, thank you for not using those food examples.
So I don't sense a foodie here. Don't
No,
worry.
not really. Not really that. तोंडाला पाणी सुटलेलं असतं पुरण आणि पुरणपोळ्याच्या गोष्टी ऐकून.
Oh, great. नाही, honestly, माझ्या तोंडाला तर असतं सुटलेलं पाणी, because it's my morning breakfast and so today I had
I
fruit
know.
full. So and trust me, I'm very upfront about it. See, my only intention of giving those food example is not to make you more hungry, but to make you understand the concepts, because everybody knows this thing. But yeah, I'll consider that. So next time, please have something ready to munch on with you along with the session, and ensure you're on mute when you do that. Okay. I'm
No,
no worries. So
that was
thank you
just
so
on a
much for the
lighter.
feedback.
That was just on a
No, no, no.
lighter note.
Absolutely,
I didn't mean.
absolutely, absolutely. And nice to hear Marathi from you. I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Vandana, over to you.
I would really thank you, Prerna, for all the dedication and patience actually you put into to actually make these sessions so successful. I would say you are like
Thank
a
you so
scrum
much.
master and you try to remove all the impediments and hindrances, right? Where people are sleeping.
Yes. Yes, absolutely,
Make your
absolutely,
session
absolutely.
to make this session so I would say, I
Yes.
mean,
See, I'll be
productive
very
actually.
honest.
You make it productive for us.
Yes, that is the whole concept. Otherwise, as a trainer, we can also give you this PPT and ask you to read, or we can have the video recordings and share with you, like how we have on YouTube.
Yeah.
People ask why we have to go for a course and why we have to pay when there is everything on YouTube. you will not get this interaction on YouTube.
That's right. Yeah. It's
Right? You
interaction.
will not get your doubts clarity on YouTube. You will not get the actual understanding of the concepts. You see, there's a difference between interaction and listening. That's why I just cleared this in the first session, that our sessions are going to be dialogues and not monologues. I personally, as a trainer or even as an attendee, never likes any trainings which are one way, because as the whole goal or the sprint goal of this training session is to ensure that you are understanding and you are getting that confidence and capability to know these concepts and these courses. So unless it comes from you, there is no point only having one-way communication. So I appreciate all of you for being so interactive. I know it's late. That's why we started 15 minutes early today. So, and I'm also not stretching for complete 2 hours today, because I want you guys to have rest and not to have any overboard of, for new concepts. Because for you, see, we talk about these things on daily basis, because this is what we do in office and in discussions. But for you, Scrum, then impediments and goal. So and these things sound new, but trust me, if you correlate them with your daily or your school days or your other examples, this is what you have been doing. So that's what my whole agenda is. We all are following Agile in our life from many years or forever, but we just didn't know that. Okay, so it's as simple as that, and I'm happy we all could connect on this. So thank you so much. Please rewatch this videos and try to work on your your personal videos of sharing this understanding. Any topic you pick up from earlier session from this. Also share pictures of your notes if you want to write them in better handwriting in a structure format. Please go ahead. Those are for your own reference, and they will be really very helpful. Take it from the people who have been placed. This is coming from them, their feedback. That's why I was sharing. So thank you so much. We'll meet again on Thursday, and till the time, take care and do rewatch and have a good night's sleep. Okay.
Thank you.
very much.
And I hope you have shared the previous recording for the.
I have both of
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I have.
Okay.
Actually, I told you now, I was traveling. I was out of town. Okay, it was my birthday actually. So and it was Holi.
Belated happy birthday.
Thank you so much on 18. So I was traveling. I was out of town, and that's why I just couldn't do stuff. But I think I did. I uploaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got.
Yes.
Belated
Thank you
happy
so much,
birthday,
guys.
Prerna.
Yes, thank you so
Belated
much.
birthday.
Thank you. This time it kind of came along with Holi, so it was also for us kind of a long weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, that's why. So thank you so much, and please try to focus on the interviews or videos, so that will help you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Good night. Bye bye.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye bye.
Thank you.